Hey guys, I'm Steve. I'm a friend of John's, and just wanted to say what an honor it is that just to get to be a part of this service and just to recognize and honor just an amazing friend. And been a lot of tears that have been shed the last few days by a lot of us, and I know definitely by Anna and the family. And we just, on behalf of the rest of us, I want to say how sorry we are just for your loss. And I know what a loss it is for the rest of us. I can't even begin to imagine just how much pain you guys are feeling and experiencing. And I want to tell you how much we love you. And so Anna and Mark and David, Melissa and Sophia and Eli, you're just in our thoughts and our prayers. And we're just so thankful that we got to be in some way a part of your family as well. And thank you for just sharing John with us all these years, and just the kind of person that John has always been. When I think about just particular words that kind of describe John, one of the first words that comes to mind is present. That John is he is one of these people, when he's with you, he is 100% with you. And he focuses on you and that relationship. And I'm sure, as amazing as that has been within your family, that at times that's tough sharing him with everybody else. But we want to say thank you for that. And thank you for just allowing us to have those friendships. John had a way of convincing every one of us, excuse me, that we were all his best buddy. And so I think it's just, again, that's probably just a tribute to how much in the moment John would try to be when he was with somebody. And, I asked my kids one time when they were late teenagers and they were getting to become more familiar with John, and just how much I realized, even as high schoolers, how much they wanted to be around John Ramirez. And I asked them one time, I'm like, what is it about this man in his 50s that makes you guys want to be around him so much? And as teenagers sometimes are, they're a lot wiser than us adults. And they just said, Dad, I want you just to watch him. Watch him when he's around other people. Watch next week when he comes into our little church plant that we were doing together. And so I did, and I would just watch and observe how John would literally celebrate everybody else. He would deflect all the attention to everyone else, never make it about himself. Now, he would make fun of you relentlessly, and he would usually do it publicly. And so, but he did it in such a endearing way that all it did was make you just to love him more and enjoy him more. But if you weren't part of his relentless heckling, I would venture to say that you probably weren't that close to him. John could, I've always told people that John could be the most encouraging and humbling person in the same conversation of anybody I've ever been around. He would say some of the most encouraging things to you, and he would find funny flaws in your life, and he would, he would just point those out very publicly. And so, but just so thankful for John. This has been a really hard few days. The last message that I had sent to John was on Thanksgiving Day, and none of us, I guess, realized what was in store over the next week or so, and just what all would transpire. But yeah, just in that text, I just looked back and I was just thanking him for just being in that honorable circle of friends, of people that he would call friends, and how much, just how thankful I am. And so John, on my life and on my family's life and on so many of your lives, has just left an indelible print that will last forever and will last literally for generations for many of us. And, I could just think of some of the struggles that I was having as we were becoming friendships, and just some of the things that I was wrestling with just a lot of shame and guilt over some things. And and how he just helped me to just really understand the grace of God on a much, much deeper level. And I know John, I've got so many things that I'd love to tell and so many things that I just can't, and everyone would understand that and understand why. But, just a couple of things that I think are a little funny, that they were funny to me, but if you knew John, he was very kind and very just a wonderful person to be around, but he was ridiculously competitive. And he loved his Boston Red Sox. He and Anna both loved the Red Sox, loved their New England Patriots. And I remember one time, John and I, we decided to start playing racquetball together, and he beat me relentlessly, and I couldn't understand it at the time. I knew he had a lot of health issues, everything from his kidney transplant to his diabetes and different things, but he would just proceed to just beat me like a drum on the racquetball court. And I finally got a win off of him one day, and it infuriated him. And I thought, man, he's way more competitive than I realized. So we get in the car, both of us just pouring in sweat. And so he looked at me and he said, I've thought about it. And he said, I'm still undefeated with you. I won that last game as well. And I'm like, well, John, how do you figure? And he said, well, you think you beat me, but he said, I should be spotted 10 points because of my knee replacement. I should get at least another 5 points for my diabetes and maybe another 5 points for the kidney transplant that I've had. So really, in reality, I beat you by 10 points. And so I'm like, okay, well, that math is interesting math, but that was just part of John. And, we had a lot of laughs together. I know that when he had talked about we actually kind of bonded over that kidney transplant because my mom had gone through the same surgery, and we talked about it a lot. But I know he and Anna were in the Virgin Islands, and one of the first favorite places to vacation. And when he got so sick and had kidney failure, and was just he was incredibly fortunate to even make it home from that and to recover. And his good friend Bill Wade, his co-worker and boss, had actually agreed to donate a kidney for John. And so it was a couple of years before I got to meet Bill, and we were at a restaurant just outside of Atlanta, and John was looking so forward to introducing the two of us. And so as he introduced us, I just remember saying to Bill, if you realized how John treats that kidney, you would probably ask for it back. So, but, John was one of those people that you would do things like that for. It's just understandable why Bill would do that, because that's exactly the kind of person John was. He would do anything for his friends. And so, again, we've all been so incredibly blessed. I hope everybody gets to see David's drawing that he created of John driving through heaven or riding in the back of a car into heaven, and just people celebrating on every side his arrival. And I just had to smile when I saw that, because, it's just, that's kind of the image that a lot of us would have. And so many of them just cheering him on and yelling thank yous for the impact that he's had on their lives, and them even being a part of the family of God because of John just reflecting Christ so much in their lives and in their children's lives. And I can also just picture as he glances over and sees his mom and dad that he hadn't seen in years, and how he just hustles over to them just to thank them and for being great parents, and asking them, why didn't you ever change the wording on my birth certificate to show that I'm actually a boy and not a girl? And I'm sure he probably also asked them, why did you volunteer me to pull that rickshaw in the parade in our hometown as a little boy that kind of scarred me for life? And so I know there's just going to be a lot of stories that'll be told about John, and stories for the coming days, the coming weeks and months. But he is a part of the Kersh family, a part of our lives forever. We're forever indebted, so forever thankful that we're part of the friends, just the long list of friends to John Ramirez. I love him. I love him with all my heart. I'll miss him desperately. And even as I start to get a little emotional right now, I just think of how he used to make fun of me when I would cry in public. And so that even kind of strikes a chord right now. But Anna, Mark and David, Melissa, thank you guys so much for just allowing us to be a part of this. And we love you. We love you so much, and so thankful for your family. And God bless you guys. And, I want to just close with just one thought of some scripture that I was just kind of thinking of when I think of John is, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And when it came to John, the John that I knew, the John that I know, he had just one of the purest hearts of anybody that I know. There was nothing manipulative, just no malice in him. He was just a person that just had a purity. He wanted people to know the same God, the same Christ that he knows. And without a lot of fanfare, he could just reflect the love of Christ, unlike so few people that I've ever got to meet in this world. And so, love you guys. Thanks again. You guys have a good one.